Everyone, and welcome back. So in a few of our past problems, we had different units. We would have had to convert those units to be able to solve them. Now I skipped over that because we weren't to the conversion part yet. I could have made you do it, but I figured we would go ahead and wait till this point to learn how to convert units. We're going to go through this in a lot of detail, but I'm going to go ahead and show you some examples right now. Now, most of you are familiar with our American Engineering Standard System, so the units we use in the United States. If you're not, might be familiar with meters and kilometers and things like that. Either way, you can probably already do some simple conversions pretty easily. Like, for example, if I asked you, okay, well, 2 yards, and how many feet is that? You'd probably all very quickly say, well, that's 6 feet. If I were to ask you, okay, well, how much is 15 yards? You'd probably tell me that's 45 feet. You could do that really quickly. But how did you do that? Well, you tell me I multiplied by 3. Well, why did you multiply by 3? So you already know how to convert units, but what I'm going to give you right now is a methodology. I'm going to show you a way that you can write down how you do that, because sometimes things are more complex. So let's mess around with yards and feet for a second and see how to do this. So first off, I'm going to set it up just like last time, but I'm going to pick a really random number, 13.2. I'm going to have yards. I'm trying to go to feet. Okay, that's what I want. Feet is what I want to get to. Don't know how many feet there are, so I'm going to put a question mark there. Now, what is my method? Well, my method is I take this guy right here and I write it again. And then I look for a unit conversion. This is something that you kind of know in your head. And we put it into our little train track. This is what's called the train track method. So unit conversions are shown over here. I don't make you do unit conversions all that much, except for this first section of the course. After that point, I typically have the units set up nicely for you, but it's still an important skill to gain. So the first thing to know about unit conversions in the train track method is that your unit always moves at a diagonal. So if the yard was on the top, it's going to move down and to the right for the next part. And this section right here is our unit conversion. So I need to fill in the information I found right there. So I'll have 1 yard because the yard went down, and 3 feet. Then I cancel any units I can cancel. So I've got yards on the top and yards on the bottom. So those cancel, I'm just left with feet. And I can finally multiply or divide everything out until I have my answer, which would come out to be 39.6 feet, because feet's the only unit left. Okay, that wasn't too bad. Worked out pretty good, actually. So this time, let's try something slightly different. So let's go from 4,827 inches to miles. So I have this guy right here. That's 1 step, miles to feet. I don't have a conversion from feet to inches, but we know that 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. So let's try this guy out too. We're going to set up our train track method. 4,827 inches. Now, I don't have a conversion directly from miles to inch, so I've got to go in any steps I can. I've got from miles to feet and feet to inch, so that's the pathway I'm going to take. My unit moves at a diagonal, so it goes down here. I'll have 12 inches and 1 foot right here. And then I do the same thing again. I have 5,280 feet is 1 mile. Go through and cancel your units and make sure that what's left is what you actually wanted. I wanted miles. Miles is the only thing left. Now I'm going to multiply everything on the top and then divide by everything on the bottom. If you're doing this in your calculator, I strongly suggest you would write it something like this. So 4,827 times 1 times 1 divided by 12 divided by 5,280. Because if you're not careful and you say, oh, that's 12 times 5,280, you do something like this, order of operations is going to be against you. You have to put those in parentheses otherwise. So just by continuously dividing, it works out fine. So this is my method, how I'm going to write in my calculator to make sure that it always works out well. Okay. So let's see this right here. 4,827 times 1 times 1. I know I don't have to multiply that, but I'm just doing it all the way. Divide by 12. Divided by 5,280. And that comes out to be equal to 0.076 miles. And boom, we have it. Look good, right? Happy days. So with that, you've seen the basics of how we convert units. And we're going to do several more problems for this because I find that learning conversions, it's not something that I can really lecture. I have to show you again and again and again through several examples. We're going to see some real problems and do it together and see how we can convert units. So thank you for listening, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.